Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tell me, boy.
I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid.
Ready? We'll start this show already.
Okay.
Testicles, 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. I am your humble host, Trebles Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Do not forget that paranoidradio.com is now fully activated. You can not only stream, but you can also watch the last amazing episode absolutely free, unbothered, bothered, unedited, and unfiltered. Make sure you cop up some of the shirts. Paranoidradio.com now has shirts, gear. We got flats. We got freaking bucket hats. We got fishing gear. Dude, all types of stuff. Make sure you check us out at paranoidradio.com. And do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. This allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing interview, an amazing special guest next up. Check this out. Fuck being normal. I want magic. I am magic. Thank God. Shit. She is the hostess of a very popular poll studio. Yeah. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. She's also a conqueror, a defender, and a definition of a triumphant warrior with grace and sexiness and aggressive determination to live and thrive. Tonight, we welcome Pixie Goddess Rockstar. Wait, that's 3 fucking verbs in one name on IG.
Well, I'm very
Roxie from Pixie Goddess Rockstar. Welcome back. You know, you're the first hostess pole dancer, because I know you dance too. Amazing skills, by the way. On the show, I've always wanted to have somebody on to give me, like, tell me a little bit about that, about the history on that, if you don't mind, and then plug in the fucking pole studio. What's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today? Thank you for having me here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the amazing energy.
Thank you. So yeah, I started pole dancing about 1.5 years ago. I've always wanted to do it. I heard the first time I ever heard about pole fitness, I knew right away it was something that I wanted to do. And that was like right before COVID started. So then when COVID started and everything got shut down, it was kind of put on hold for, a couple of years. And then lo and behold, I heard that a new pole studio had opened up, like not even a mile away from where I live. So when that happened 1.5 years ago, I stepped foot in there. And ever since I stepped foot into a pole studio, I never walked away. So my passion grew for it. And I realized that it became a healing sanctuary for me. It was a place to go to just like, if I had a hard, stressful day, I'd be like, I'm going to the studio. If I had, like, even if I think, oh my gosh, I'm like stuttering now. Even if I had a good day, I would go to the pole studio to dance.
It's a celebration. Right?
It really is. Like, just I lost 27 pounds. So it's not just like when I tell people that I pole dance, the first idea they get, of course, is stripping. And I don't have anything against that.
If I can inject, I'm a guy. Okay. Thank God I know a little bit about what pole dancing is. It's a very athletic and very professional athletic activity. It's a sport. This is not just sexual and sensual and it empowers women, but it's also entertaining to watch. Come on, you gotta fuck, dude. Come on. It's very entertaining, but it's also very hard to do. It's not that easily, not anybody can do it. I've seen big girls do great, amazing things, and then I've seen real skinny, so-called athletic gym girls that can't even hold on to a pole. You see what I'm saying? And men sexualize it, and most of the times that you find a vertical pole, it's in a strip joint or a titty bar. Yeah, but it doesn't take away that it's a very professional and a very strong and very athletic, and it empowers your core, your arms, your legs. It gives you balance. Wow, all the things, which I want to talk about that. So the reason you're here is not only to share the passion you have for vertical poles, and guys, don't take it out of context, please. People are going to take this out of context, but also your novela, your novel, your soap opera, your story. I've been doing some documentaries with a lot of our supporters and collaborators. And I like the idea because it doesn't only bring in sometimes true crime, but also brings in a genuine emotion that connects with the listeners, with the people, the average Joe that listen to the show. Dude, I'm an average Joe, bro. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have kids. I have people to feed. So your story was originally heard on your boys podcast. If you mind and mention, plug them in also. And you spoke about how you didn't only go through physical trauma, but you endured an amazing amount of medical procedures. First of all, before you get into your story, let people know where they can find you.
You can find me at Pixie Goddess Roxie, all one word.
Make sure you check out
Yeah,
Pixie Goddess Roxie. I love the name. It's just so fucking. It's aggressive. All right. How does your story start? What happened to you?
So my surgery, my first surgery started back in 2006, and that happened because I acquired blood clots in my left leg. And the reason for that is because at the time I was pregnant, and my son now is like, he's almost 18. So it was a long time ago, obviously. He's 17. So when that happened, I was put on blood thinner. And the reason I got blood clots is because pregnancy, when you're pregnant, women produce an excess amount of estrogen. And when you have an excess amount of estrogen in your body, estrogen actually can cause blood clot formation. So it's a natural risk of pregnancy. And so that just happened to me. I got blood clots.
Were they able to treat your blood clots before? I mean, during the early stages of your pregnancy, or how did they? I mean, why did it get that bad?
I didn't find out. I was working full time as a medical assistant at the time, 40 hours a week, pregnant. I was like 8 months pregnant. And then I ended up getting like really bad, severe pain on the back of my left calf, like daily for weeks. And finally, I worked for an OBGYN, and I was her medical assistant. And at the time, she noticed that I looked like I was in pain, and she asked me what's wrong. And she was my doctor as well. And I had told her, like, I'm having a lot of pain in my back leg for a couple weeks. And we had an ultrasound in the office at the time. So she was like, go jump on the ultrasound. I'm gonna take a look at your leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did. And then she was like, my dear, you have blood clots. I'm sending you to the ER right now. You're going to the emergency room. And I was just like,
imagine if you weren't working there, what would have happened? Amputation, probably death.
I mean, yeah, because blood clots, there's no telling like how fast a blood clot can travel. It was in my left leg. It can travel within minutes, hours, days, weeks, years. But they try to take, when you find out about it, they try to take care of it right away.
And you were already pregnant? How many months in were you pregnant?
I was like 8.5 months pregnant.
8.5? You were about to fucking pop, dude. And you were still working full time? Who are you?
Yeah. Well, I was about to go on to my medical leave anyway. Yeah.
8 months and a half? Anyway, that's fucking heroic.
Yeah. I was a mom at 16. So I've been hustling and grinding since I can remember. My oldest is 25. He's
wow. Wait, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's really disrespectful, but fuck, dude, I just have to know.
I'm 42. I don't mind.
You look a lot younger.
Thank you.
Yeah. You look easily my age. I'm 33. Wild. All right. So pregnant, 16, blood clots, almost dead. Your boss tells you, get the fuck out of here, go to the ER. Then
I was 23 at the time.
23.
That was my third son.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to the ER, and sure enough, I had 3 blood clots in my leg. So they put me on blood thinner right away. I had to give myself 2 shots a day of blood thinner. And then one of the risks of being on blood thinner is your blood is very thinned, just like water. So if you were to like cut yourself, you can like hemorrhage bleed, or even bleed internally if I were to like bump my leg even or something, that
What
little
happens
bruise.
in your menstrual cycle? Like, what would happen? Do you bleed out to
I
death
mean,
too, or
you would bleed heavily, yes. So it's very like you have to be very careful. But
wow?
I mean, I was pregnant at the time, so I didn't
Huh?
have to worry about that. And then after I had my baby, of course, it takes a while before your period comes on, you know. So I was still on blood thinner, but so I was taking the blood thinner. I ended up having an early term pregnancy
Mm,
because of the stress from my body just being stressed out from everything.
uh-huh.
So I had an early term pregnancy. Everything ended up good. My son was completely born healthy, thank God. I was
Yeah.
okay. And then after I had him, he was only 4 months old, and I happened to bump my head. I was still taking blood thinner.
Were you pole dancing when you bumped your head?
No, I didn't start pole fitness until a year and a half ago.
Okay. Right. So you
Yeah.
bumped your head. I don't want to know the story how you bumped your head. Bumped your head pretty heavy, or was it a hard bump, or what
Well, it
happened?
was really dark, and I had just pulled up, and I was trying to get my newborn. We had a four-door Honda Civic, very low car, and I was
Uh-huh.
trying to get like an old school one, and I was trying to get my little one out of the back of the car. So when I went to get him out, it was locked. So I turned around because for you can unlock all the doors with the front door driver. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to go unlock it, and it was dark, and I didn't see that the car door closed. So when I turned around and kneeled down to unlock the door, the corner of the door hit my forehead. I'm short, the car's pretty low, but it was like perfect height, me standing up, the corner of the door.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I ended up immediately, like I barely had the slightest cut, but blood was gushing out everywhere. Like it was a
Because your
freaking,
blood was so thinned out because you had some heavy clots in your leg. Wow.
yeah,
And you were
it was
taking thinners before you had the baby?
I was taking like a really low dose. It's called Lobinox, a blood
Uh-huh.
thinner, while I was pregnant with him. And
Uh-huh.
then after I had him, they put me on a heavier dose,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Because you
Coumadin.
you know you just had him and then you had to heal, right? Because you bleed, obviously. Wow.
Well, I had him, and then I mean the blood clots were still there, so I was still taking blood thinner, but they put me on a heavier dose, like a
As soon as he was
regular.
out. And
Yeah.
it doesn't affect the baby, does it? Or to a
I
degree?
mean, so I had an early term pregnancy, and come to find out, the reason why I had which I knew at the time too, I had an early term pregnancy because the amniotic fluid that my baby was in was very low. And if it gets, so there's 10 centimeters of fluid. If it gets to 6 or 5, they will deliver the baby and get the baby out because it's very dangerous.
Oh,
So
wow.
I
So he
was
was in
at,
danger.
I was at
Uh-huh.
5 centimeters of
Oh,
amniotic
wow.
fluid. Yeah. So
Wow.
they delivered him, they induced me. And come to
Wow.
find out, that's actually one of, you know, the risks of being on blood thinner while you're pregnant.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So
So
it
it
also
was
it could
kind of one of those things. It was like, don't take it and you can die either way. Like, so
yeah.
I had a
Either way.
benefit blood thinner.
So baby's delivered. Now you hit your head and you're in the ER again.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I had a CAT scan, and I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking, okay, whatever, probably a minor concussion. They had already put the stitches. I just needed 2 stitches. Doctor comes in with results and is like, and at this time though, like, mind you, I'm completely out of it. Like I have slurred vision. My speech is like slurred. I couldn't even stand up because my gait was off, my balance was off.
Uh-huh.
I was forgetting words. I couldn't talk right. It was like
Mm.
dealing with a little drunk Roxie, pretty much. And I was completely like sober of alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the doctor came in, it was just like the results came back, and you actually are gonna need emergency brain surgery because blood leaked into the ventricle of your brain. And I was like in shock. I mean, I was still comprehending everything he was saying. And I was just like, I don't want brain surgery. And I looked at my mom and she looked at me. We were like, what the fuck? We were all tripping out, and I just looked at her and I was crying, and I was just like, I don't want brain surgery. And he looked at me and he's like, if you don't have brain surgery, he's like, I'm talking to you right now. He's like, you have, your vision is, you said your vision's blurry, your speech is off. He's like, you're forgetting words right now as I'm talking to you. He's like, what's happening? He's like, is you're slipping into a coma. What's next is you're going to die. Your body's shutting down. You have to have it or you're going to die.
Oh my God, dude. And you're processing this half asleep, half drunk, half dead. How many halves
Not
you
drunk.
have?
Let's just clarify, not drunk. But if I were to give somebody an example of what it felt like, it kind of felt like that.
Yeah. Okay. You make the immediate decision. All right, take me in. Open up my head. What happened after?
So I was like, okay, give me the brain surgery. And I had the brain surgery and I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. And I mean, of course, it was a horrible nightmare. They had pulled up like half of my hair and they shaved everything underneath. And so they did an incision from the middle of the top of my head all the way down to where my neck is.
Oh my God.
So I had a shaved head. I mean, underneath, I look like a freaking Indian. With my
Hey, at least
head
they left
shaved.
you the top half.
No kidding. I was so like, and then not only that, like, so after the surgery, I had staples in my stomach because they put they put a tube in the ventricle of the brain,
Huh.
and then the tube is in your brain, but it comes out of the skull. So they drill a hole on the skull, right? But under the skin, on top of the skull, they bring down the tube and they bring it down the back of your neck. And then for me, they brought it all the way down inside my body, under my skin, into my stomach, so that the excess fluid from the ventricle can drain into my stomach. Because the reason why I needed brain surgery is because when blood leaked into the ventricle of my brain, we have a channel, a vessel, right? So the ventricle is where the channel of our spinal fluid flows from our spine to our brain. So it's basically like the magic potion of our whole neurological human existence.
Yeah, the magic potion. I told you in the beginning of the show what you just posted. I don't want what you said. I am magic. Now I know why. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, so they put a tube in your body.
Mhm.
Fuck, this is gruesome. All right, this is some fucked up shit. I didn't know you were gonna go this deep. I didn't even know it was this fucked up. If I would have known this, I wouldn't have
happened
had
6
you.
times. Mind you, I've gone through this 6 times.
I don't want to take too much time from you, but I also need to get to okay, your healing part for the first one, because that's probably the one that opened up the gates. What happened to you? Okay, so tell me what happened. How'd you heal? And then did you hit your did you hit your head again? What happened, dude? Like, why 6 more times? I mean, 5 more times.
Okay, so
The devil's out to get you, man. You are blessed.
Oh, definitely. There's a spiritual warfare going on. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
I like that.
And I know that I'm very powerful. We won't get into that. Okay.
No, by all means, I love this stuff. Fuck.
I know.
First, let me
I'm
get-
on the right channel right now. Like,
I want to
finally,
know your
someone
your head banging experience, and then we're gonna get into the spiritual, because I do gotta get some spiritual talk out of you. I have to know.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So the first brain surgery led up to 3 consecutive surgeries. And the reason why is after the first one, I was in the hospital, I was healing. After 3 to 4 weeks, I was sent home because they had just taken the staples out. And I was like, I want to go home. Like, I'm ready to go home. And they're like, okay, we're going to let you go home in 3 days. We're just going to take the staples out. So they took the staples out. 3 days later, they let me go home. I went home and immediately that night, I had the same symptoms, blurred vision, everything, like the same thing all over again.
Wait. So did they touch your brain? Were you handicapped? Were you able to walk? Did you lose your any touch feelings, memories lost?
I was cross-eyed.
Don't mind if I laugh.
Like, no, everybody laughed. One eye was completely cross-eyed, and they were like, that is going to go back to normal. Your brain needs time to heal. It's the nerves,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, whatever, like I'm alive. So anyway, I went home and when they took the staples out, so the nurses would come and they would check on it. And some nurses like to touch shit and they don't wash their hands. So when I got sent home, I got sent home with staph. And
What?
staph in the
What?
brain, yes.
What the fuck is staph? For the people
It
like me
is
that don't know.
an infection that gets into your bloodstream. And since it was in my brain, again, something's attacking my brain's trying to shut down, just like it was trying to shut down
Are you
because of what
fucking
happened with,
serious, dude?
yeah.
That is the devil. All right. You got an infection in your brain again. Dude, it's just your. Did you ever buy a Honda kit? Do you still own that Honda?
No, I gave it away for free.
You give it
I
all,
don't
yeah.
blame the Honda. It wasn't the Honda.
Okay. So again, you're in the hospital, second time, staph, brain shutting down. They went in again.
Yes. So I go in again, slipping into a coma, but this time I have an infection, so I'm slipping away faster. And then they're like, we have to give you antibiotics, but we don't know which kind because we don't know what kind of infection you have. So we're pretty much just going to give you antibiotics until your cultures come back. The first one didn't work. The second antibiotics I was allergic to. By that time, I
You're already
slipped into a
choking
coma.
up.
I
Oh
was in
my
a coma.
God.
I went into a coma for 3 days. They told my heart rate, my blood pressure, and my oxygen was so low that they told my parents, we think you need to go and say goodbye and call her family and say
Oh
goodbye.
my God, dude. Oh.
But when this happened, like everyone was sitting around my room and I can see everybody there and I can hear everybody. And what's crazy is like, I was telling my mom about this and she was like, what do you mean? You were in a coma. You didn't wake up till like, the next day. I was like, no, I heard and seen everything. So I remember like everything.
You are recording, but you can't stop the recording. You can't do anything. Wow.
So that happened. And then I woke up after they figured out like what antibiotic worked. The third antibiotic, it was the third day I woke up. And then when I woke up, I was in the hospital for like another 3 weeks. So, but when I woke up, mind you, I had slipped into a coma with an infection, went into a brain surgery to get the shunt out. So they had to open me back up, get that shunt out because of the infection. Then once they, got the infection under control. So after I woke up from my coma, I went into another brain surgery to put the shunt back on the other side. So that's 3 consecutive brain surgeries.
Why in the other side?
I guess there was infection here that they were like
God.
wanting me to heal.
And that's because of these fucking nasty ass nurses fucking touching shit without washing their fucking hands.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
definitely.
That is some fucking heavy shit. That I'm a visualizer. I visualize this tension. I visualize 4 or 5 people, 2 boys, the doctor, 3 nurses, and they open the door, small room, and they're touching your feet, your toes, and one of them comes and your mom comes, touches your hair, and they're all crying, and you can't wake up, and you're like, fuck, dude, I want to tell you, and then you're recording everything they're doing and everything they're talking about, and fuck, dude, that is hardcore. And look, and you know what's funny? We're only up to your 3rd brain surgery, right?
Yeah.
And this is traumatic. This is something that you didn't only physically go through, but now emotionally, morally, the impact that you're having on your kids by this time because they're growing up without their mom, weeks on, weeks on. And then the healing process is not easy. You're constantly in pain, constantly drinking pills, damaging your body, damaging your organs. Wow, dude, I'm just fucking in shock. Let's go to your 4th.
I didn't take any pain medicine.
You didn't feel pain, or
I'm very pain tolerant. I didn't take any.
are you addicted to pain?
I'm not addicted to it. I just can't feel it very much. I think that's why pull worked out great for me because pull's very painful. You bruise with it. It hurts.
Where are your parents from, if you don't mind me asking? Are your
My dad's
family?
from Jalisco and my mom was born here.
Oh, you're Mexican.
And
Okay.
native. My grandma and my grandparents on both sides are very close descendant native.
Oh shit. Oh, look at that. That's probably you have good genes. Good stuff. Now, fourth. This is exciting. I can't wait for the next three. What happened?
So the fourth brain surgery, so that's three consecutive, right? Got sent
Uh-huh.
home. Was cross-eyed for a whole year, but whatever, I'm good now. Um, went on with my life,
Yeah.
and then so mind you, the first three happened in 2006.
Oh my
And
God.
and so we're already, it was like the end of 2006 because my son was born in October 31st on Halloween. And then, all this time, by the time I get home from the hospital and I'm like, whatever, it's like, it's already January,
Yeah.
right? Pretty almost.
Mm.
So, of 2007. So I go on with my life, everything's great. And then I got pregnant with my fourth because that
Hmm.
incident happened with my third. So I get pregnant with my fourth. My OBGYN, who I worked for previously, 10 years
Hmm.
before, pretty much was like, why are you pregnant? You're not allowed to be pregnant. And I'm like, nobody told me that I was not allowed to be pregnant. My
Haha.
neurologist didn't tell me. My neurosurgeon didn't tell me. I'm like, you're my OBGYN. I've been looking for you. Like, no one ever told me. Like, you helped deliver my third one. Like, this is my fourth. I was like, nobody told me. She was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, because we were like friends. And then so anyway, she sent me to go see my
Yeah,
neurologist.
I was gonna say something. You stay busy, girl. What the heck, dude? I'm done at two. I don't want no more. And fuck.
It's a
Anyway,
lot. Oh my gosh. I know. So
blood clots
yeah,
again.
I got pregnant again, and then because of I got sent to a perinatologist, which happens to be like a specialist that tells you if your body is healthy enough and capable enough to harbor a baby to term healthy, without any risks of anything,
Hmm.
especially, potentially death for you or the
Hmm.
baby or both of you. Went to
Hmm.
see my perinatologist, San Diego. She tells me, she comes in with like a whole stack of papers and she like sits down and she looks really freaked out and she's like, you're really, like brace yourself. You're not gonna like my advice, but don't get mad at me. Keep in mind, like we are perinatologists. We're pretty
Hmm.
much like a pregnancy police and we tell you if it's healthy enough to continue a pregnancy or not. And then she's
Yeah.
like, I'm holding a stack of papers of high risks on why your body cannot harbor this baby. And she's like, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but we're allowed to recommend what's right for your body. But of course,
Word.
you make the ultimate decision. She says, I recommend that you get an abortion.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I was just like, well, what's funny is that I've already had three brain surgeries. And who's to say that what if I get an abortion and then I get in my car and then get in an accident and die? Because
Bam.
her reasoning was because I told her, no, I'm not doing it. And she's like, okay, do you understand that you already have three children who are used to having their mother? If you go through this pregnancy and something happens to you or your baby or both of you, or what if you deliver this baby and then something happens to you and then you have four children without a mother? And that's
Yeah.
when I told her, I get that, but who's to say I don't get in a car and get in an accident and die?
Word.
And I'm like, so
And then your
and
kids are still left behind. I hear you.
yeah, like I was
Yeah.
like,
Word.
I mean, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So I told her I'm gonna go through with it, and I did. And everything, of course, I was on blood thinner with this pregnancy again, shots twice a day. I was on bed rest. It was a high risk, scary pregnancy for
Word.
sure. Um, they even, I was not even allowed to deliver my fourth child naturally. I had to be put to sleep for a C-section because in order to be C-sections, you're normally awake. And the reason why is because they give you an epidural and they
Hmm.
like, they put it in your spine. And that's so that you don't feel the pain and you can be awake, because it's dangerous if they put you to sleep. They
Where
couldn't even do that. They had to put me to sleep because they couldn't give me the epidural because it could cause a blood clot. Hematoma.
back to the fucking cross-eye. There we go. Okay.
Literally. So
So
I delivered him under anesthesia. I went to
And
sleep,
then-
woke up, and had a baby.
and then when did you have the fourth surgery?
Okay,
While
so
giving
went
birth?
home. Okay, I went home, had him for like 3.5, 4 months. And then one day I woke up one morning. I remember it very clearly. I woke up one morning and I was just like, my eyes were so blurry. I couldn't see anything. And I felt my head felt like really groggy. And I felt a lot of pressure. And I felt pressure in my eyes. And it was as if I couldn't open my lids because of all the pressure.
Word.
And then I felt nauseous. And right away I got up, went to vomit. I was so nauseous. I had a huge headache. I knew immediately something was wrong with my
Your
brain.
brain.
I knew immediately. I called my mom. I said, Mom.
So this wasn't because you hit yourself or anything. It was just throughout time.
It's
something
because,
triggered it again.
well, it's the blood thinner, the pregnancy, the stress of being under anesthesia. Our body goes through a lot. And so
Yeah.
it's because, and then also you have to remember it had already been like almost 10 years since the last one. So a foreign object in our body fights against foreign objects. So it just malfunctioned. It stopped working. So I told my mom, like, you're gonna, don't be scared. I love you, but I need a brain surgery. She was like, what are you talking about? And I told her, like, I have symptoms. So she came, picked me up.
Wow.
And I went and had my fourth brain surgery. And then that one was like really easy for me because I knew what to expect.
The procedure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna like candy coat, like, yes, getting to the hospital for me was hard. It was scary to the point where I even told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm not going to the hospital right now or today. I want you to come over and I want you to sleep with me. I just want you to hold me. And then tomorrow you can take me to the hospital. And I went outside and I walked around and I was just like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to fucking wake up. Like, this is crazy. Like another brain surgery.
Mama's hugs and Vicks fixes everything.
Seriously.
Oh, shit. All right,
Yes.
fourth down. We got 2 more to go.
Well, the fourth
this
the fourth is, we're not done with fourth. The fourth is the NDE. I had a near-death experience.
What happened there? Oh, here we go. Here we go. The
We're
juicy
getting
part.
into the
Yeah.
good stuff. Yes. Okay.
What happened?
So I go into the, my surgery. I remember being wheeled into the, prep room. They put the mask. I'm counting back. Next thing you know, I am looking from the ceiling down. And I'm very consciously aware that I am not in my body. And I'm looking around trying to figure out where the fuck I'm at. And I was looking down and I just saw doctors and I realized, oh my God, like I could hear, this is the crazy part. I could hear my own voice as if I had a mind. So if you like plug your ears and talk, that's what I heard.
Wait. Whoa.
But it was my thoughts though. My thoughts had
Whoa.
a voice. I learned later, because of that experience, you bet your ass I was researching shit. I learned later we have a conscious mind and our voice is a frequency, and I discovered our voice is part of our consciousness and it comes with us. And that's why it's so powerful when we say things. We have to be careful because that frequency we're putting out, it is so powerful.
I've said this on the show hundreds of times. Every single time you speak about yourself, you speak in glory, you speak positively, you speak always in the future, and you always know that your brain cannot comprehend joke. Your brain cannot transfer that frequency as humor. There's no humor. It's only survival and adaptability. And that's why when you speak into existence. Even even scripture says, First, the first of John, first was the word, and the word was God. And it's not the word was God. God, the frequency, the fucking power, the manifestation strength.
Yeah.
We are divinely created. I've always said this shit. Conspiracy, man, is fucking amazing. This is not conspiracy theories. This is just fucking life. Get used to it, motherfuckers. True.
Literally.
So you just, this is sick. I told you, visualizing clogged up ears, and you're talking to yourself in your voice. You found out that your frequency is your voice. You
It's my
go with you.
consciousness.
It's your conscience. So what happened?
Yeah.
Out of body experience.
So I'm looking down and I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I at? Oh my gosh, I'm in the hospital. Oh my gosh, that's me. I'm having brain surgery. And then I told myself, get back in your body. Because I was so scared. I was like, get back in your body, go back in your body, get back in your body. And I was trying to go back in my body and I couldn't. And then I felt something pull me. And this is crazy too, because we even have our energy body, right? Our spirit body. So I felt a pull. And when something pulled me, it pulled me so fast and so high that I felt a turn in my stomach.
Oh my
Like,
God. Like you're in a roller coaster. Like when you feel that.
Like when you're a little kid and you're on a swing and when you come down, yeah, or a roller coaster, you feel like, so that's what I felt.
Wait, dude, wait.
Our energy
That is
body.
sick. You are fucking crazy. Interesting. Okay. Boom. The thing. Okay, sorry. I'm
Yep. So
you know,
then
fuck, dude. That's crazy.
I get like pulled into this black tunnel and like so fast. I just know that I'm being sucked into this black tunnel and it's like everything's dark. And next thing you know, I felt like I was spit out into like nothingness. And the only way like I can describe it for people that have never experienced that is if when you jump into a swimming pool that's really, really deep. So you're out of the water. You're jumping on, you know, like the diving board. And then when you jump into the water and you go deep, next thing you know, everything's calm, everything's quiet. It feels like you're kind of just floating and you're just like in space. So that's what I felt. I was spit out into just like nothing. Everything was completely dark, but it felt like I was just like floating. And I didn't see like that I had a body or anything, but I could see everything. Like I saw stars, what I call them and perceived them as stars. But there was like lights and orbs of energy, and it went on forever, like all around, up and down, all over the place. And they were like somewhere far, somewhere near, somewhere like different color. They were all different colors. And I could hear my voice and I'm saying, I was like, oh my God, where am I? And as soon as I said that, I realized I felt so much love, like overwhelmingly amount of love. It was so beautiful. And when I felt that,
Yeah.
I knew instantly that I was home because then I said, oh my God, I'm home. Like I knew that I was home. Like I said that and I was like, I'm home. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be home. By this time, I forgot my entire life on earth. I just knew that I was home and I was happy to be home. And I've never, until this day, felt that much in that amount of love. And then I realized, because I kept saying, I feel so much love. I'm home. I'm home. And then I realized I am love. Like if you feel that much love, like you are, I realized I was love. And then after that, I asked myself, oh my gosh, I'm home. Well, where was I? And then I looked down, and this is crazy because everyone always asks me, because I saw Earth, and everyone always asks me, was it round? Was it flat? I couldn't tell if it was round or flat. Like I could see it far away, and I could just see that like it was Earth. And I looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, because I could look down around and all over the place, right? Like I could see everything everywhere. And I knew in that moment, I was like, oh my God, I was on Earth. And then I knew because of what I was feeling was super, super timeless. I knew when I was on Earth, I was like, wow, I was on Earth. That was like a blink of an eye. I knew that I was on Earth like this. And then when I said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm home. I'm so happy to be here. And then I heard, well, before I heard the voice, I literally, this is the craziest thing ever because I was like, okay, I was on Earth. That was a blink of an eye. And the next thing I knew everything. It like flashed within me. I knew everything that there was to know. And then I said, oh my God, I know everything. And I can hear like the way that I'm telling you and how you're hearing my voice right now is how I was hearing myself say this to myself. But like
Wow.
it's like within my conscious mind. And then I said, oh my God, I am love and I am everything. And I'm home. I'm so happy.
Oh
And then
my
I heard a
God.
voice. I heard a woman's voice. At that, right in that moment, I heard a woman's voice. And she said, yes, you are home. And I just saw this beautiful light in the distance. And I knew it was coming from her, but I can hear her in my mind.
Hmm.
So later on, because of that experience and like reading and research, and like I realized, oh my God, we're telepathic. We can hear each other.
We are telepathic. I used to have
Telepathic.
I don't want to say this. I don't want to hurt anybody's emotions, but my ex and I, we used to have full-on conversations, and not like the way you're thinking. Like
No,
we would
it's
have,
energy.
we were so connected, and then we broke up because I was a fucking cokehead, and I wasn't man enough to fucking fight for what was mine. That's why we broke up. Not because she cheated or I cheated. No, I was a fucking bitch. That's why we broke up. The man is the leader, and I didn't lead. That's the problem. So again, not to pull like any intensity in the story, but her and I, she was also native. We were, I did a lot of bunch of sessions with her for Moscalero Apache, coming forth of a man. I got my spirit name. I was
Did you say
assigned.
Apache?
Yeah, Moscalero
I,
Apache.
I have Apache.
Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, shit. Bound to cross paths. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck native I am. I know I'm a fucking mutt, but I have heart. That's what matters. So I used to have full on, I used to talk, like see her, and I would just make like a face expression, and I would think a sentence, and she would be like, right? And I'm like, what? Did you hear me? She's like, I think I heard you. I'm like, what? Did you say this? I'm like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? We'll have like full on like sentences, dude.
Yeah.
We'll be far from each other, and we're like fucking thinking, and then we just ping, It's
You were
amazing.
telepathically connected.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
probably your twin flame.
You never know. Yeah, we broke up because I was a bitch. Anyway, I know she's a great person. That's the most I can say now because I'm a married man, and I have respect for both women. And that's something about relationships. You fall in love with different women differently. The way I love my daughters is demolishes anything and anyone, obliterates it. You're a fucking speck of shit in the fucking ether. Obviously.
Don't say it like
that. But like the love, I love my wife like my best friend. She's my right hand, emotionally, economically, everything. She is everything I got. I'm blessed to have a strong woman like that. But my ex, in different ways that I would never probably have connection with anybody else, my ex and I, she's great in her own category as well. You can't take away anything from these people. And women, they are so complicated. You guys are vicious and so sweet. And you can't live without them, and you can't live with them. It's fucking crazy. And I have two daughters. No. Don't even start with me, girl. Well,
I've been living without a man very greatly.
no comment. Anyway, back to the brain surgeries. We're running out of time. My baby's screaming at me from the other room. Tumor surgery. Wait, the outer body experience. This is going to be the name of the fucking show. This is a trailer right here. The outer body experience. Tell me more about the spiritual, like your spiritual present before we end, and then we could fast forward the two brain surgeries.
I am very spiritual, and obviously it happened because of my outer body experience. I started as soon as like after that surgery, I came home and I started seeking, that connection again, what I felt, that love, that peace within, that enlightenment. So I went to church, joined a church. I got baptized at 35, and
Amen.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But I started, there's more to it than just what, it gets deep. You want to
do this a second partner? This is my official invitation. Because
Yeah,
look, we can't
thank
fit it
you.
all. There's so much information to go through. Yeah, it's a documentary, but this is a spiritual awakening in a
Exactly.
woman that thrived through sickness, and it was being hunted down by demonic entities and by tragic incidents, bro, and by a fucking deadly Honda. This is wild. You know what? Let's do that. Part 2 will be
Okay.
coming up. This is beautiful because we ended up on your 4th and the out of body experience. I love it. I love it. Where
And we're
can
not
people
done with
find
that,
you?
so we can pick up with that on our
Absolutely.
schedule.
Yeah. If you can, send me the date, please. And I'm being dead ass serious. Send me the date and the time, and let's do it again, dude. Part 2 on this. It'll be fucking awesome. What
Most
where can
definitely.
people find you, right, Roxie?
So Pixie Goddess Roxie on Instagram, all one word, no underscores, no dashes, no periods. Pixie and then Goddess Roxie.
That's right. Make sure you check her out.
Roxie.
Pixie Goddess Roxie on Instagram. Make sure you check her out. And you could also find her once this episode drops on the description of the show and on paranoidradio.com under the special guests and links tab. Make sure you check us out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Roxie, so much for that very refreshing story and exciting moment. Dude, look, at this point, if the listeners don't like it, I don't care because I like it. And I'm going to come back to part 2. Perfect.
Honestly,
you know
this is my soul journey. So it's not about what the fuck they like. It's about what my sole purpose is. And they have one too. And if they don't like mine, then they can figure out what theirs is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And with that spicy tamale towards the end, I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here. And I thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Do not forget to drop out a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Bye-bye, Roxie.
Paranoid Radio.